It is the calm before the storm as we join you this Sunday. With snow approaching, we hope you're bundled up and cozy with some hot chocolate or other beverage, ready to soak in our conversation about the news of this past week. Starting with a new city council. With several new members, a decision on whether to approve Mayor Young's recommendation that C.J. Davis stay on as police chief delayed for 2 weeks. But right now, Chief Davis's future seems very much in doubt as a city council committee narrowly defeated Davis's appointment. The city council also tabling a proposal to give themselves the city's health care coverage even after they leave office. We'll talk about where both of those issues stand. In Nashville, it's the start of a new legislative session, hundreds of bills being considered. But what grabbed everyone's attention from this side of the state was a letter from the Greater Memphis Chamber and dozens of the city's biggest business executives to the governor and state lawmakers, literally begging them to help Memphis with its crime crisis. Also, some new rules imposed by the House Speaker getting some attention. And in Collierville, a recently elected school board member is arrested for shoplifting more than half a dozen times over the Christmas shopping season. But was her offense egregious enough that she needed to quit, which she did? We will get to all that in a moment, but first let me introduce my panel today. We've got Otis Sanford, ABC24 political analyst. Susan Adler-Thorpe is a political consultant with Thorpe Communications. And Reverend Keith Norman is the pastor at First Baptist Broad. Thanks all three of you for being here. We'll start, of course, with the drama surrounding the new police chief, or re-upping the police chief, I guess we should call it. And as we mentioned in the intro there, they've delayed for 2 weeks a decision on what they're going to do there after that committee vote, as narrow as it could be, defeated the idea. So now we go to the full council, and I'm just hearing all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes, which is why I have you three here, because I know you hear about all of the different things going on behind the scenes. What is going on, and can the Mayor Young flip the vote, well, at least one vote that he needs, and hold on to the 6 he's got,
right,
to get C.J. Davis another lease on life here?
Right. Well, first of all, he definitely needs to hang on to those 6, and I'm hearing that a couple of those 6 were even tenuous the other day. But yes, he needs to flip at least one. And I'm also hearing that, some members of the city council were not happy with the way C.J. Davis had responded to some of their requests over the last several months. And they certainly are not happy with the Scorpion situation going back to Tyree Nichols' murder, really, back in January of last year. I think they can get there. But it's going to be it's going to take a lot of hard work on the new mayor, Paul Young, and C.J. Davis to get that one extra vote. I think it's possible to do, but it's not a slam dunk right now.
What do you think, Susan? What are you hearing? It seems to me that we got a new mayor who wants to come out of the chute with a new energy, and this is his choice, that even if you're a little bit grudging about whether it's the best decision, you support his initiative and you back him at this time, especially now, especially with the crime crisis we're facing.
Well, I think that's the way it has been traditionally, but I think Paul Young is really rolling the dice with this. This is a big risk for him to come out behind C.J. Davis, because she is a controversial figure, especially since the Scorpion unit and the Tyree Nichols death. But I think this is an early test of Mayor Young's political ability to navigate the council and to prove that he can stand tall with the council and get his way. We're going to find out if he can do that. I think he's going to hold the 6 that voted with him, especially the women, the female council members. And I think that I had heard that Dr. Warren had said that he was going to vote in favor of the appointment of the reappointment of C.J. Davis, but he flipped at the last minute. So that may be one that Mayor Young really has to work on. But I think I'm with Otis. I think he'll be able to get it through.
Let's show the list of how the council members who did vote against those 7 votes that the mayor needs to flip at least one. There's Ford Canale, Chase Carlisle, Jerry Green, J.B. Smiley Jr., Philip Spinoza, Jana Swearingen Washington, and Dr. Jeff Warren. Susan alluded to Dr. Warren maybe be a potential move. What are your thoughts?
I think that we missed a great opportunity, first of all. We said crime was the #1 issue
We did.
that we were running on, and that
Over and
day one we were going to attack crime. And on day one, at our first opportunity, we punted the ball 2 weeks down the road to say, we'll get back to crime. Let's talk about our health care. That's a real problem for me. We went to Atlanta. We made a real big show out of going to a city to say what's going on here. We wanted to see how they were handling crime. And so this is a city that learned to work behind the scenes with guys like Bowlegs, Marvin Arrington, of which I know you would know, who navigated the council. I was expecting J.B. Smiley to be that guy. He's the chair of the council. I would think that you would get behind closed doors and count the votes before we get to the floor, and that we would have some private conversations in support of the mayor, making the concessions that people need behind closed doors, because we need to send a signal to the people of Memphis that we're serious about crime, and we can't do that with a national search in the first 100 days of a new administration.
I couldn't agree with you more. I do have to throw this out there before I change topics here. A couple of these no votes, J.B. Smiley being one of them, Dr. Warren being another, did support other candidates, not Paul Young. Is there any leftover or hangover, do you think, from that explains their no vote?
We're out of that now. That should be over. I mean, it's time now to lockstep. Again, I called a name, and I did that intentionally. For 4 terms, Maynard Jackson's, Andrew Young, Maynard the second time, and Bill Campbell, one guy was president of the city council. And he worked the deals while the mayors were out making international deals, state to state. They were really clearing the field. This is what we need a chairman to do. And I think JB is that guy. I think he can get in there and clear the field so that the mayor can get his agenda done. I hope they form partnership and not competition.
I do too. I think one other thing too, and that and it has crossed my mind. I'm wondering if Chief Davis might wind up being the collateral damage in a race among the council members to prove to the mayor that they're in control, that they have solid ground to stand on, and you need to listen to us. Of course, we have a very strong mayor-council form of government. The mayor has a lot of power, and these two bodies, these two divisions of government, need to learn how to work together. This is not a good beginning.
We were very doubtful when Tawan Stout-Mitchell on this program last week. The former city councilwoman said, don't be so sure that they're going to sign off.
Well, that's true. And she turned out to be fairly correct on this. And I do think the wild card for flipping is Jeff Warren. But we have to see, to Keith's point, J.B. Smiley here. Is he going to really step up and be a leader on this council, which I expected him to do? Or is he going to be a naysayer all the time and buck the new mayor on not just C.J. Davis, but on other things? We need to wait and see just what kind of a leader he intends to be going forward.
Every day we buck the mayor, we buck the people of the city of Memphis.
I agree with you.
Every day we delay getting a chief of police and focusing our efforts on crime, we're allowing crime to control the day.
It's hard to imagine this is going to be a renegade council that's going to stick their future reputation on this particular vote.